Yeah, because they are high stakes. When there's tension there, when, there's that difficulty aligning or moving, when there's a sense of, misalignment, there's usually a lot at stake. And they are delicate. They are very delicate conversations, especially with, um, when the misalignment is quite big or the impact of not being aligned is massive. For example, with a client, external client, right? Because that ripples in so many directions, has an impact for so many stakeholders. So you're always carefully trying to contain and manage that relationship to keep it on track, to not get derailed, to not lose time, to not spin your wheels and lose money, right? All of those things, or put your team under pressure because they've got to catch up. So you're trying to manage a lot of emotions, a lot of people, a lot of risks. And understandably so, because everything's scheduled, right? You've got to cover this topic, you've got to make a decision by this point. There are milestones, and everything's got to stay on track, right? There's very little room for misalignment. How often do we factor
Mm.
that into a plan? Oh, we've got to allow for like with contingency, things going wrong, things that you've got to fix, but time to truly align, time to deal with that resistance, not necessarily. It's a it's how you approach your conversations, right? It's how you are, what's your ritual or hygiene around conversations? Do you take the moment at the end of a conversation to just, even 60 seconds can be a good enough length of time to reflect on and go, what happened in this meeting? What was the energy? Was it positive, or was there something there that I need to reflect on and come back to? And just even having a mechanism for yourself, like the meeting comes to a close, but for yourself, what's the takeaway? What's the awareness? What did you observe? And even if it's not full, you don't have to dedicate 5 or 10 minutes to it, but you could just take a pause. If you imagine everyone's walking out the room because the meeting is done, you stay sitting for an extra 60 seconds and you write down what you've observed, what you're feeling. Just that will make you sharper in the moment over time, right? You'll be able to pick up on things and deal with them there and then. You'll be able to name them quicker because you're sharpening that muscle of observation, of noticing. And you combine that with 2 or 3 questions that are your go-to questions, or statements to make when you're inviting someone to talk more, and you're already doing way better than most people in conversations, right? So it's how you think about your conversations, and whether you are know that you can get more out of your conversations, and that there is always something to reflect on at the end of a meeting. And just doing that as a habit, a little habit somewhere at the bottom, wherever you make notes or capture things, um, just making that a note, even if it's, I don't know what was wrong there, but something was off, right? Come back to it, make a note to catch that person and say, can we have a quick catch up? Or have you got 5 minutes later today? Or can we go and grab a coffee? And then make that a note.